Today, we're going to build our own RAG system from scratch that uses website data scraped by Firecrawl, and we'll hook it up to Cursor using an MCP server, all in less than 5 minutes. But I know what you're thinking. All this in less than 5 minutes? Don't you have to use a model to convert the data to vector embeddings, store the data in a vector database, and process a user's query to receive the right data? I'm telling you, Cloudflare has made the whole process insanely simple. But you know what? Let's just get into it. Okay, so this is the site we're going to crawl. It's documentation for a package I made a while ago for data fetching in React that isn't popular at all. So I'm confident that LLMs don't know much about it. But instead of directly converting HTML to vector embeddings, I'm going to convert all the pages on this site to Markdown using Firecrawl, an open source tool for cleaning website data for LLMs. So I've installed it for Node, I have the site I want to crawl in this const variable, and I'm using the crawl URL method, passing in the site and using these options, which is scraping a maximum of 15 pages and then exporting the data to Markdown, although other formats are supported. And when I run the code, this is the data I get for all the pages, and this is the data I get for a single page with Markdown in a string and a bunch of metadata, including description, language, open graph description, and page title. But then when I have this data, I somehow need to give it to our RAG system. And to do that, we're going to use R2, which is S3 compatible, and that gives us a great reason to use the awesome Bun S3 client. So all we have to do is create an R2 bucket. I've already created one, so I'm not going to go through that process again. And we can click here to grab specific API credentials. Then we can import the Bun S3 client and add these credentials down here when we create a new client, making sure to add an endpoint value for Cloudflare because it defaults to AWS. Then we create a function to grab the data from Firecrawl and use the title from the metadata to create a title for our Markdown file, and then upload the file with the Markdown data to R2, which looks like this. The final step is to put this all together using AutoRAG. And hey, if you're still here, well done for getting this far and clicking on the subscribe button. Okay, so AutoRAG will create vector embeddings from our data and store it in Cloudflare's vector database. We can get to AutoRAG, which is in beta, under the AI menu. I've already created one, but I'm quickly going to go through the process of creating one from scratch. So I'm going to click here, then connect it to our bucket. Note a web crawler is coming soon, which might replace the need for using Firecrawl. But anyway, I'll click Next to choose a model to vectorize our data. Auto is fine. And I'll click Next to then choose a model to retrieve our response. Again, Auto here is fine. Then finally, I'll click Next to change the name of our RAG. And that should be it. Once all the data has been indexed, we can query AutoRAG using the API, a Cloudflare worker, or use the playground for quick testing, which will also show us the score of the files that were used based on the query, which is really cool. But wait, what about that MCP server? Well, Cloudflare recently provided 30 new MCP servers, and one of them is for AutoRAG. So that means I can grab this code, add it as a global MCP server, sign into Cloudflare, and with a prompt like this, I can get data from my AutoRAG instance, which is more accurate than the data coming out of Claude. Trust me, the feeling of seeing your data stream into Cursor for the first time is unreal. I mean, this technique could be used for internal documentation to get information from a bunch of customer conversations in JSON, or just to get the most up-to-date data from the Tailwind documentation. And speaking of Tailwind, we have a video right here that talks about everything new in Tailwind 4.